make sure that you're in lesson 2, and then it's spreadsheet number 3, the team selection. When you load this up, you're likely to get the yellow bar at the top asking if you want to enable macros. Click on the enable. When the pop-up comes up there, say yes. Right, so we've got a long list of people who are signing up for some sort of team event. So what will have happened is these people will have filled in a form, handed them in, and then someone has typed all of these in there. Okay, you'll notice that we do have some missing data here as well. What we need to do then is convert these into full words, because it's easier for people to just put M and F or any alternatives when they are just typing these in, rather than typing a full word, one single letter, one single code there. And then later we're going to come on to a summary sheet for that then. So let's start with this one then. We're going to start with the simpler version. This isn't correct, but we're just going to build this up as we go. This is very much like the if then else that we've done previously on programming. So we start with a equals, and we're going to do equals if open bracket. So we need to tell the computer what we're looking at. So let's look at that one there. Okay. So if C5, and if we have a look down here, what we're seeing in our data, there's M and there's F. So if C5 equals, and we're going to say M. M is alphanumeric data. So we put a speech mark and the M inside the two speech marks. So we're saying again, if C5 equals M, then. So for then, on a spreadsheet, we use a comma. So let's read that again. If C5 equals M, then, and now we tell it what we want here. So we're going to put in there, male. Remember, it's an if then else statement like we would use in programming. So if C5 equals M, then male, else. Now what we're just going to do at this stage is we're going to say else female. Put that in speech marks, close the bracket, press enter. So what we're doing, we're giving the computer the assumption that if that's the person there is not male, that they're female. So let's replicate that down. Okay, and our formula looks to have worked. Pause the video, rewind a little bit if you need to do, and then come back and we'll look at why it's not working properly. Okay, so if you've got to this stage, what we want to have a look at here, so it seems to be working for these first three, seems to be working for these two. Here though, this person has not put anything in the gender box. Now that could be because they forgot to fill it in. It could be the person putting their information on the spreadsheet missed it out or couldn't read something they'd written, something like that. It could be that this person doesn't want to say, or it could be that they were only given those two options and that's not one of the options that they want. So we can't assume that someone's female just because there's a blank in that data set. So what we need to do now is go back in and change our formula. So we're going to double click, which brings our formula back up. I'm going to go to the formula bar at the top here. So we're saying there then, let's just remove everything after male and else. So we've got there, if C5 equals M, then male, else. And we start that formula again. If, open brackets, click C5 again. If C5 equals, in speech marks, F, close speech marks, then in speech marks, let's have a female. So what we've got now, if C5 equals M, then male. Else, if C5 equals F, then female. Else, and we're just going to leave it blank. So if someone's left that blank, we're going to leave it blank as well. So else, we put speech mark and another speech mark. Now we've got to count the brackets. So 1, 2, because that's how many we've got to close. 1, 2. Press enter. and then let's double click the replicator. So what that's done now, if there's a blank there, it's left a blank here as well. Pause the video, rewind if you need to do. Let's just take that first formula up there so you can have a look at that formula. Get that into yours, save, and then come back. So for the last one then, although there's slightly more to it because we've got 3 teams, okay, it's not really that different from what we've done there. This time though, look, we're using numeric data, not alphanumeric data, so we don't need the speech marks around the numeric. So let's start again here, equals if, open brackets, click on the team number column. So if D5 equals, now I have to look at what could D5 equal. Well, it's 1, 2 or 3. So if D5 equals 1, then they're going to be in the red team. So red is a word, alphanumeric, so put it in speech marks. If D5 equals 1, then red. Else, if D5 equals 2, then in speech marks, green. Else, if, open brackets, D5 equals 3, then in speech marks, blue. If we leave it at that, we're going to get an error where these teams have been missed out. So we do need to do something about that. So we're just going to put else else error in speech marks. Okay, so now we need to close the brackets, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 brackets, press enter, and then let's see if it will let us replicate that. Yes, it is doing. Sometimes if there's a blanket it won't do that, but there is a formula in there. Okay, so we're going through all of these. We do have an error there. Okay, there may be some further down. Right, so there's the formula. Try to work out the formula yourself as you go. We'll come back to the video if you do need to do. So get that onto your sheet and then come back once you're done. Okay, next we're going to go to our summary sheet. So now we need to find the number of people in the team. So for this we're going to use a count if. So same as we did on the last exercise, we're going to go to our formula bar. If you go to most recently used now, it should be there. Okay. If not, go to all, click one thing, type the first part of it, and then just scroll down until you get to the count and count if. So count if, our range is going to be the one that's given us the team colour. So let's highlight all of that. This time, because we've not highlighted the entire column, we're going to press F4 so that it keeps that range. Our criteria is the team colour there. Now we can replicate that. Okay, so this one underneath will put your formula in there ready for printing. Put your name and class in and print this one here. If you've completed that, okay, so just an extension task. So the extension task is just to use something called conditional formatting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of those. From the home page, we're going to go to conditional formatting and we're going to go to new rule. So format only cells that contain cell value equal to red, because that's one of the ones in here. Then we'll click to format, and you can change the colour of the font, but we're just going to go to fill, I'm going to go to more colours because we want pale colours for this, so I'm going to use this sort of pale, one of the pale pink colours. Click OK, click OK, click OK. So all of the red ones now are formatted there. So let's now go back and manage rules, and we do this again. New rule, format cells that contain, equal to, green, into the format, into the fill, more colours, pick a pale green colour, click OK, click OK, click OK. If we click apply now, it will apply those. So the last one then is, let's get the blue. So new rule, format cells that contain, equal to, blue, click on format, go to more colours, so add a light blue colour, click OK, click OK, click OK and apply. Now what that does is, if there are any errors we've got there, it does make them stand out quite well. So for example then, if I remove the team number from some of these, and you can try that yourself, it just makes it quite easy to identify any of those. Make sure you save your file. If you haven't printed the summary sheet, then you can print that one.